Hello guys, I'm audible. Most of the guys left, but no problem. Okay, let's start. हाँ, So हमारा मेन मोटिव है इस वीडियो का. One second, let me plug in my mic and then we will start. Oh, so at most we had 5 users watching our channel, which is good thing. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. I hope I'm audible now, and so I will continue. So I will share my screen, and let me iterate it again. So, what is the agenda of this? What is the agenda of this session? Is that we are creating a centralized auth service for all of our application. It is just a microservice where we will generate auth app ID and secret, and we'll plug in on our in any code and just use the that service to use our service to have an centralized authentication service which we can use for our any of our application. So let me show you my code here. This is our existing repo, and in this repo we haven't implemented that app ID and app secret. This repo just has uh, it is just acting as an authentication layer on top of Google, but here we will add uh, Facebook and GitHub as well, plus uh, Apple Store authentication layer as well. So here we will go to users and we'll like check what the hell is happening here. So the thing here for the user entity, we have used MongoDB. What I will do here is that I will change MongoDB to with I will replace MongoDB with Postgres, and here we are using Google ID. What we will do is we will add Google ID plus Google Auth plus Facebook plus GitHub plus I Mac authentication. Okay, so let me go back here. Role entity as well. Here we have hard coded the role. No, no, we have not hard coded it. It is we have saved that role in the database. Okay, and let me go inside the service. We have password service. It is creating hash and then returning your hash. Then we have token service. This token service is generating auth token links ID. Okay, so you generate the access token and response refresh token both here, and then we are validating token as well. Great. So here each user was not related to any kind of application. This was just acting as an authentication layer, a single authentication layer, as or you can say a single microservice which you just plugged on top of your application. But now what we will do is that we will separate the expand this application for all of our so for any kind of service. मैं स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ अभी, तो आप यू कैन सी माई स्क्रीन इज विजिबल। और इस गिटहब रिपो में भी so what I will do is I have this code on my local system, so I don't have to clone this. I don't have to clone this. Yeah, so I will go to my auth server, go inside the project, and I think auth server is inside our project. Let me go and search auth key. No, it is not. Here is the auth server. What I will do is I will just take a clone. I will just take pull from GitHub remote server git fetch dash auth. So it is up to date, and I have Java section here. I don't know what is the meaning of the Java section, so we'll remove this. Mail thing is there, git auth guard is there, config is there. Config, we will not use this config. We will use symmetric authentication here. Here we are using asymmetric authentication. So we will use symmetric only. Okay. So let me create one another to do file to do file, and let me show what I'm going to do here. We have app, and so let me first explain the user flow, how this application will work. First, user will log in on our application. Okay. Once the user has logged in, then user will create app, and once the user has created its app, we will provide the user with app ID and app secret. Okay, so we provided this app ID and app secret. Now what, and user can go into the dashboard and he can enable uh, simple authentication like auto, like, with using a username, email, and password authentication. I will allow user to have a third-party authentication like Google. You can have Facebook, GitHub, and then we'll have going to have Apple. Okay, so these are the four third-party authentication layers. Say authentication layer. Okay, so now user what will do is we will provide user an SDK which user can install in its backend server, and then we'll just plug in app ID and app secret, and any kind of authentication that will be done from the front end, that will reach our this server, and it will generate the JWT token, or say access token and refresh token. Now those access token and refresh token will be sent to our any of the backend server, and we will just authenticate using our app ID and app secret using the SDK, provided SDK, or any any authorization technique which will which we can which we will have on our backend. So we can just share our authorization technique like You hash a password. You just add app ID and app secret in such a way that our this backend service will figure out that this is a genuine request. So any such kind of method we can apply. Okay. So what I will do is I will create new branch here. Get checkout dash v app feature app app layer. Okay, so you just create a new branch, and what I will say here is that we now will be going to have an auth layer which supports multiple authentication for any application. For each app of an user, we generate app ID and app secret. This secret will be um, can be rotated. Okay, rotated. Now we will have for now just um, auth and auth 2.0 authentication with Google and just our own authentication layer. So create implementation layer. Sorry, create implementation plan. How we will update our existing repo to make this happen as soon as possible. Okay, so screen is visible. The screen is visible here. One more thing, uh, we will change our database from Mongoose to Postgres. So this is one major change which we will do. got the problem, I will say remove our existing database, use Postgres for this, and for session management we can use Redis. Google Auth credentials. Since we use single auth in a multiple app, do you want to keep single global client ID for all the apps, or should each application configure its own Google client and secret in the future? We will proceed this global one for now, as we should get this done as soon as possible. जैसे गूगल में कोई ऑथेंटिकेशन करता है, तो गूगल में अपना अकाउंट बनाता है, उसको क्लाइंट आईडी और क्लाइंट सीक्रेट मिलता है. Then we can add that client ID and client secret in our application here. But if we keep, and they also add redirect URL. So I don't think that single client ID will be good for all our application. It is not. So I will say we can use client ID and secret one for each application. Unique for each application. Client side and server side for operations like login sign up. Will the front end of the third party app call our auth server directly from only app ID? Good question. Or their backend call our auth server. We will assume app ID is required for client operations. And an app secret is required for sensitive administrative operations for backend integrations. Good question. If we send the authentication call directly to our backend, then from our backend we need to call this this our auth service. Okay, so I don't think this is I'm confused literally right now. Yes, app ID is required for client side only. So a client side will not contain secret. But this backend will be used for authenticating our request, validating the JWT. Okay, this app secret will be used for validating the JWT token. So what we can do is that we will use this app secret just for backend integration to our this service, and the JWT that we receive, that will be authenticated by our this own application. So what will happen is that our secret for each application will never will come out from our this particular application, that will exist inside this application only the app secret, which will be used for authenticating the request, will be given to the backend server. So that comes for JWT code authentication. JWT code authorization. Now coming to the login side, will client side will call this backend service directly or indirectly? That is the main question. I think we it should call directly. Client side should call a service directly. We will have for each app the or call origin validation, and it will call our application. Then our application will interact with the backend. Will generate the JWT. And since JWT has been received by the client side, then the client side will send the JWT to our all of our integrated application, which is using this service indirectly. I think I should we should so our authentication is being done. It is happening right. Sorry, the implementation is going on. So implementation plan has been updated. So let me quickly show what is happening in the backend. So this is our auth service. ये हमारा auth सर्विस है और इस auth सर्विस में ये मेरे auth सर्विस है. और इसका हम अभी स्कीमा डायग्राम बनाते हैं. पहले पहले ये एक तो हमारा यूज़र है. And this user has its app that can be a one to many relationship. Now this app contains the Google credentials. This app contains the app ID, app secret, app name. Okay. And this app has roles attached to the attached to this application roles. Roles will also be one to many relationship. That means that what kind of roles that we want for this application. So we have user, app, roles. Okay, these things. Now coming to the APIs that we will have. We'll have login for authenticating this, for user authorization and authentication. Then sign up. We can also have sign up. Then we have create app. Then we have update app, generate secret. Okay. Then we can, in the update app only, we can have an option to update the Google credentials. Update. Okay. Now we have another API to validate request. So validate token. So here we will pass app ID, will pass app secret, and it will validate our token. And after validation, it will return us the. So what, it will just add another API call layer on top of our service, which is an extra overhead. So since we have the token, we have the app secret. क्या करें? ऐप सीक्रेट से तो बस हम अपने इस ऐप से वैलिडेशन ले सकते, मतलब इस ऐप से कनेक्शन का, या आप बता सकते हैं कि हम कनेक्टेड हैं, इस ऐप से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। ऐप्स सीक्रेट से क्या कर सकते हैं ना, तो वेरीफाइड टोकन का एपीआई, ऐप आईडी और ऐप सीक्रेट पास करेंगे। ऐप सीक्रेट से वो वैलिडेट करेगा हमारा रिक्वेस्ट कि ये सही रिक्वेस्ट है कि नहीं है, एंड देन ये फिर उस वैलिडेट जो अपने टोकन, जो इंटरनल टोकन है उस ऐप आईडी से रिलेटेड, उससे उसको वेरीफाई करेगा, चेक करेगा कि रिक्वेस्ट सही है या नहीं। ओके, ये चीज़ हो सकता है। हम क्या कर सकते हैं, ऐप सीक्रेट एक सिंपल कनेक्शन लेयर, authenticated connection between our app and our system, वो हो सकता है। You can use this app secret for that purpose. And second purpose this app secret can have is that this app secret can itself can act as verification, JWT verification for it, for any token, and that you can do without calling this application. And so these two things we can do. So let's discuss which approach is the better one. अगर हम हर एक सर्विस से ये चेक करने के लिए कि रिक्वेस्ट ऑथेंटिकेटेड है या नहीं है, बार बार अगर ऐप सीक्रेट से इस ऐप को कॉल करेंगे तो ये बॉटलनेक सिचुएशन क्रिएट कर देगा कि ये सर्विस हर हर एपीआई के लिए कॉल होगा, विच वी डोंट वांट। तो ये जस्ट लाइक एपीआई लेयर, एपीआई गेटवे हो जाएगा जो बार बार हर रिक्वेस्ट में हिट हो रहा है। तो ये ऐप लेयर भी हर रिक्वेस्ट में हिट होगा, विच वी डोंट वांट। तो इस केस में हमको ऐप सीक्रेट ही रखना पड़ेगा जो कि यूज हो जेडब्ल्यूटी वैलिडेशन के लिए, जेडब्ल्यूटी टोकन के वैलिडेशन के लिए। और दूसरा अप्रोच है कि हम इस ऐप आईडी और ऐप सीक्रेट से ही हम ऐप को इनिशियलाइज करें, और उस ऐप इनिशियलाइजेशन में हमको सीक्रेट मिले, या तो हम अपना एक अलग से ऑथेंटिकेशन लेयर लॉजिक लिख सकते हैं। इन दैट लॉजिक वी कैन हैव इनिशियलाइज ऐप, और इनिशियलाइज ऐप में हम ऐप आईडी और ऐप सीक्रेट पास करेंगे, एंड वी विल रिसीव ऐप टोकन सीक्रेट, जो कि हर समय रोटेट होता रहता है। इट इज नॉट समथिंग दैट स्टेज कांस्टेंट। And with this token secret we can validate the JWT, and this will be done on boot time or when the token is rotated. So let's see how we can do it. So we will connect on next video, next session. So till now we will connect. इसके बाद हम कनेक्ट करेंगे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में और यहीं से हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे. So thank you.